Metallus' hard drive has fallen into a coma, and with it, the next video in the Project I series. Trent and Mimood gather around and mourn over the beloved ill-stricken device, as Metallus cries out in regret.
The video was almost fucking done. It was almost fucking done. Why didn't I back up my files when I had the chance before? Now I have to wait like a bloody week. What am I supposed to do in the meantime?
Trent and Mimood pause for a moment to ponder a response.
Well,
Trent begins with his nasally-ass voice.
you could, go out into the world, make new friends, try new things, make physical contact with Poaceae.
Mimood explains further.
Try exercising or learning things. Better yourself or some shit.
What the fuck are you cruelly drawn losers talking about?
Metallus loudly butts in.
Self-improvement? Exercise? Talking to people IRL? Touching the plant kingdom? This is shit people with no passion do. I'm up in this internet bitch trying to get views and subs and a following, damn it.
Metallus straightens up.
You know how much work all this is? I have no time to chat with people IRL, okay?
Let me get this straight.
Mimood begins.
You care more about getting views from random people on the internet, many of which probably spend most of their time arguing just for ego or consuming hateful content which makes them simple-minded and judgmental people, than you do about
Mimood pauses to make a confuzzled face.
yourself.
He squints at Metallus. Trent shifts the attention to himself.
All the awful and crazy people here are just using the masquerade of the internet to put others down to make themselves feel better, since they don't know how to help themselves or handle their fears internally.
He leans towards Metallus more.
Why do you want the attention of those psychos? The answer is you don't.
Metallus relapses into a state of despair.
Man, how could something so relevant, so far-reaching, so amazing such as the internet push people further apart? You could talk to so many different people, learn so many things, and this just leads to more ignorance?
His train of thought leads him back to an irked state.
I just want to make connections and share things. What the hell is going on with everybody?
He exclaims as he asks the age-old question. Trent and Mimood move closer to Metallus.
Maybe,
Begins Trent.
if you could talk to people IRL, you can see the truth of who they are.
Trent looks down for a sec.
Maybe they aren't as monstrous as we think. Maybe they're just looking for some kind of connection or understanding, but don't know how to make it over this large technological structure.
Mimood pokes his stupid fat finger at Metallus' eyeball.
Dude, you shouldn't just be whoring yourself online for views and crap. You should be doing what you like to do. The internet is for sharing inspiration and excitement. You seem like you forgot what it's like to feel those things.
Metallus drops his head in thought, his perspective challenged and despise dispelled, a feeling most fear in the assumption that would bring them pain and into a world unlivable. Yet it instead brings him a clarity unachievable by his prior disposition.
Can I really not be so different from them? And have I forgotten how to do things for me?
His face morphs slightly.
Am I so out of touch?
He meanly reflects. His face morphs fully.
No, it's Elon Musk who was wrong for changing the name of Twitter.
Get your stupid ass outside and go learn about people outside their toxic comfort zone. Before I touch you.
Mimood says politely.
Before I touch you violently.
Mimood explains with a soft voice.
In a non-sexual way.
Mimood elegantly adds.
The non-consensual nature of it will be out of rage for your stupidity and not anything pleasurably selfish on my part.
Clarified Mimood with much posh. Metallus perks up.
You know what? You're right. I don't want to get touched by Mimood. Maybe I'm just forgetting about what it's like being face-to-face with people. Have the common type of experience we all had when we were kids. That's right, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to a political rally.
You know what?
Trent replies onerously.
Just stay home and masturbate. Here, want me to show you some good stuff?
Metallus swiftly counters Trent's suggestion, divinely inspired by the democratic gods.
No, Trent. No.
He bonks Trent on the head repeatedly.
I won't learn anything from indulging in the worldly pleasures that you advocate unto my thoughts. We are in dark times, Trent. Dark times. Shadows are being cast everywhere, upon everyone and everything. I must cast mine too. Off to the political rally I must go.
Bars fly down in front of Trent as Metallus backs off, caging Trent behind a single wall. He is not fully surrounded by the bars, so escape is very possible. However, he is very stupid and doesn't realize this. He starts crying. Mimood wraps his arm around Metallus' question mark and pulls him close.
You know,
He begins to whisper.
if you are going to go out and start engaging with current political matters, you really need to prepare accordingly. understand your perspective and come up with compelling arguments. But most importantly, you'll need a way to defend yourself.
Trent displays a look of confusion.
I thought the purpose of a protest was for a collection of people to publicly demonstrate that they didn't like something that their representative leader was doing. Like a people versus government thing? Not a people versus people.
Is that a motherfucking tank?
You bet your stupid transparent ass it is.
Mimoud replies.
And you.
Mimoud smugly turns to Trent.
You're getting old. That's how protests and rallies used to be. But now everything is about conflict between two ideologies. Governments in our types of countries don't oppress people. It's one people's way of life that makes it hard for another group's way.
Meanwhile, Mimoud is explaining Metalis is drooling at the sight of the tank.
But by saying the government is corrupt or oppressive, we can invoke an exaggerated historical narrative to manipulate other people to our side of the argument. Democracies have turned us into self-entitled whiners who dismiss any personal responsibility to understand the world or admit our own shortcomings.
Can you shut the fuck up and put me in the tank?
Metalis remarks abruptly and hastily.
Mimoud, you're a goofy-looking cartoon character. Quit trying to sound like the fucking wise man or the political expert of the story.
Wait,
Mimoud replies, unhinged by Metalis' rant towards them.
before you go, you need something stupid to protest or rally about. Something that is just some small amount of moral justification, but is also offensive or insulting, and can be blamed on the government, even just a tiny bit.
They ponder for a short while. Later, at a political rally / protest / whatever / people angry and waving signs around, a mass of people gather together in anger and wave signs around. Although no violence has erupted just yet, the atmosphere is tense, and the collective rage is like a balloon being continuously filled with helium, ready to pop at any moment. The powerful, influential stench of the internet is ever prominent, despite this being an in-person event. As the crowds enlarge and engulf the scene, a noise and an object can be seen making its way through the maturing pandemonium from a distance.
Hey, we will not tire. Bring back the Mongolian Empire. You know that the Mongolian Empire increased the communication between Europe, the East, and the Middle East, and improved the relationship, tolerance, and spread of their scientific, cultural, and political ideas. Our government today wants to keep Asia and/or Europe submissive and breathable for their own benefit. They don't care about us, about progress, or about what's right. We must band together to fight back against our oppressive and corrupted government.
Hey,
A slightly familiar but different nasally voice beckons from the fractured crowd.
the Mongolian Empire oppressed many people and regions, forcing them to submit to Mongol rule.
The voice concludes with an accusatory tone.
They were also very unfairly brutal and merciless in their war campaigns, destroying and pillaging and raping. You should be ashamed of yourself for wanting to bring them back and supporting them.
You know,
Metalis begins with a hint of realization.
I never actually thought of all that before. You have helped me realize that I may be wrong about some things. We should have a discussion about our different viewpoints and perspectives and...
Get fucked, nerd!
Get out of here, you disgusting Mongolian. You won't replace us. Your kind ain't welcome anywhere here.
A raspy-voiced crowd heckles to Metalis from behind.
Take your conspiracy and shove it up your ass.
I didn't mean to upset you, sir. Let's talk about our feelings,
Hey,
A voice yells loudly but confidently up towards Metalis from behind. Metalis promptly turns his tank around to face the beckoning voice, prepared to engage the prowler of his business at a shell's moment. Standing there before his tank is a man, looking up at him with a concrete face. The man points and berates Metalis.
you sit there in your comfortable, safe position, away from the tribulations and fears that these people below have to deal with constantly, and you mock and criticize them. You do nothing to change anything for the better. You don't put yourself in any difficult situation. You just sit there and laugh. Coward.
Metalis stares down the man with a look of hostility and a red light on his face. A small trace of hostility is removed from his face, and the light turns azure.
Maybe I haven't thought about it like that before.
He admits sourly through his breath.
Perhaps you should consider that next time before you go harm and hate on people who are spending their time and energy risking things at these protests.
The man concludes with an unchanged iron look on his face.
But...
Metalis begins to shout from his tank.
the thing is, I and others like me have learned to mock you all based off the way you guys act. your hostile ideals and behavior, your inability to resolve conflicts through reason or compassion.
Metellus leans back as he finishes.
There wouldn't be a loosely connected group of people thinking the same way as me if what I'm saying didn't have merit.
Metellus lunges forward as the camera zooms in like some kind of dramatic Chinese martial arts film.
You brought this mockery upon yourselves.
Hostile ideals and behavior. Do you have no sense of morality or justice?
The man starts speaking more aggressively.
How do you expect us to react to these people out here who are the reason for all the strife and struggle we experience in our lives? Do you expect us to just shut up and take it? Do you expect us to do nothing?
Metellus leans back and reflects for a second on what the man just said. He gives the man a sideways look.
You don't want to try a different approach when confronting those people? Say, react with compassion, kindness, compromise, or understanding?
Never.
The man replies unreluctantly.
Then I think we've come to an understanding.
Metellus replies unreluctantly.
Ha!
Metellus cheers in victory.
I actually did it. I won an argument with one of these crazy political people.
His joy slowly drops at a sudden thought.
Well, I think I won. I blew up the guy before he had a chance to respond, or even think to come up with a reply.
He laments lightly. The lights soften as Metellus continues to reflect upon the events of the day.
You know,
He begins.
thinking back on that argument we had, sure it was toxic, but I'm so used to thinking about things like this on my own, or with people who agree with me so repeatedly, that having someone provide something else to think about felt new and refreshing. I was actually learning something. Even if it contradicted my beliefs or if I didn't exactly like it, I was learning. I was gaining something. I felt something different.
He looks down.
And then I just ended it. Whatever he may have gained from talking to me, I made him lose it. I'm going back to my computer now.
Metellus says, "The end." Thanks for reading this messy comic.
You bet your stupid transparent ass it is.